Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon live. Because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put the community first.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hello there, co-host. How you doing?
Hey, you.
Hello.
Y'all hanging tough?
Woo.
Yes.
Well, we got some juicy hot topics to talk about tonight. So let's start off with our extinguished mayor, because he's hot and heavy right now. So now everybody's all up in arms because he met with the czar that Trump has put in place to deal with the immigration problem that we're having. And, people feel that, why is he going to meet with this man? What's going to happen to the people here in New York? Now, what he's saying is that he met with them to talk about the migrants that's causing problems, not the other ones that's here working and trying to do better for themselves. The one that's robbing people, causing havoc on the street. Those are the ones that he's talking about that they want to, send back to the country they come from. So what do you think? What do you think when he met with the man?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll just jump in first for cases. I think the amount of immigrants that they said, the amount of migrants that they said that's here in New York, I don't think is nearly a small percentage of anything of them who's really committing these crimes. How do we really know who they are? And I think initially they had did all this migrant situation was wrong from the beginning. They should have offered the amnesty program to the individuals that was here, giving them the opportunity to the role of citizenship, and you will alleviate some of these other issues. You cannot deprive people with status here or who could benefit from an amnesty and then bring people as migrants to come and just fill in spots, whether it's jobs or homes. I'm not sure. I mean, for what I've heard, what is it, 250,000, 50 to 500,000 migrants here? All of them is not committing these kind of crimes.
No, he didn't say all of them. He said the ones that they have committed crimes. So I'm assuming he's talking about the ones that they have arrested already, the ones that they know that's causing problems, because the police know who's causing problems and stuff like that.
Yes,
yeah.
But
the ones that's not causing problems.
But it's not limited to that. It's the migrant.
I think what's going to happen is, I mean, I agree. Like, they need to do something about especially the migrants that are causing problems. I mean, they were not able to do their due diligence in finding out the background of these people, and now we have these gang members, new gangs over in New York, and so this causing an issue. But I think what's going to happen is the other migrants that's not causing any issues are going to be swept up in this. So I think it's going to be, I think what Trump administration is like everyone has to go.
Exactly.
I'm like, they just totally got me confused, because first of all, I think if we look at the history, all new migrants, be it African Americans, be it Italians back in the 30s, all new migrants are accused of doing more crimes. All new migrants probably do more crimes because that's the lowest on the income level. As far as him meeting with the czar, I mean, I'm confused. They make me feel like I haven't went to high school, because it's like, did I get this wrong? It's like changing immigration laws and watching the immigration money to see how many get sent to each state. That has nothing to you meeting with the czar. The czar can't do that. Why are you meeting with the czar? People got a problem with, I believe in states' rights wholeheartedly, but I had heard this, and it's not original. It's from a TV show. Florida didn't fight World War II by itself. Neither did Tennessee. Neither did New York. Certain issues are state issues. Certain issues are federal, national issues. Immigration is a national issue. It's something for the federal government to decide. What I don't, they act like they make me feel like I haven't went to high school. Like I forgot everything about high school civics. I don't get it. It's a federal level.
I didn't feel like it was anything. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with him meeting with the czar and meeting with anyone else that
He's not going to solve nothing. He can't do nothing.
That's not the point. The point is you have a meeting to see what you can come up with. The problem how it all started is because we just started getting such an influx of people, and New York could not handle all of those people.
You're making my point for me.
Could not handle.
You're making my point for me.
Bus loads every day and stuff like that, and that's why it ended up that the people that was here that already needed help now was not getting the help that they were supposed to get, because we had people already in the shelter trying to get out of shelters to get housing and get health coverage and all of that kind of stuff, and they weren't getting it. So then as soon as we started getting it overflowing with people coming in, they was taking up all the services that people that's here should have been getting first, was not happening. That's how all of this started.
Well,
So
your mayor said he welcomed the immigrants and said we will take them. And then he didn't realize that this was going to be a big issue for him, that they was going to send them by the busload. So he opened his mouth, and this is what he got. So now he's trying to fix the problem, and it's a little too late now.
But then again, New York is a sanctuary state, right? So what happened? They received those services because the state received money from them. So no matter how the money was distributed, they received the money. Okay, yes, they don't bring in money for the current
they received some money. They didn't receive the money they were supposed to get.
Well, whatever they received was supposed to be designated for the migrants. So when you talk about the other immigrants that are here, the people in the shelter and the housing, where's the money for them outside of a migrant problem? Okay, that is part of the issue as well. They were getting all the benefits. They were getting a stipend. They was getting Uber rides from A to B.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they walk around, you don't see them on the street. They looking.
No, they wasn't in shelters and stuff with their children.
A lot of them got housing. They got all the benefits that the ones that's here should have been getting. That's not getting.
I mean, that's true.
So that's why we got such a problem.
But what I don't understand, a lot of migrants came, and the first thing they was asking for, well, where's the Social Security office? What was they getting from the Social Security department? That's my question. Mm-hmm. What was they getting?
But that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, all of these services became available. Mm-hmm. That they wasn't talking about before. They didn't give the people a card.
Exactly.
They had a card where they could go buy whatever they wanted to buy or whatever. You never gave that to the other people that was in the shelter. That's what I'm saying. All these benefits was being given to people.
Exactly.
The benefits was there all along. That's what it showed you. It was there all along. They just was not using it to help the people of New York that really needed it.
Exactly. Well, that's another thing that I see that happened is they were exposed. Exactly. That they didn't have money to do some of the things that they were supposed to do, because when they started renovating Roosevelt Hotel and the medical center and putting up tents in Red Hook, I kept saying like, okay, well, where did you get all this money from? That you can renovate Roosevelt Hotel, but you wasn't renovating it before in the medical center and putting up all these tents. Where did you get that money from?
Exactly.
To me, that same money you could have been building some renovating these dilapidated buildings to take people out of the shelter that's in the shelter.
Making apartments. And
making then when you renovated the hotel, why didn't you take the people that was already in the shelter out? Put them there
and put them in the shelter.
And put the migrants in the shelter. Everybody has to pay their dues, when they come and stuff like that. So the city to me was really exposed. So that goes to tell you that they do have money.
No, but it's sad. It's sad because people who were there that worked and probably ended up in the shelter, because everyone is pretty much one check from the shelter, and they didn't get the services that they should have gotten. They should have gotten housing.
So then, with all of this happening, how do you feel about America now? I'm just talking about the whole United States. Like, we just going in a direction that I have never seen before. It's like we're becoming another world, another country or something. It's not the same anymore in the United States. It's I don't know. It's like we're just going down here.
Well,
It's becoming a third world country. That's
I hear that a lot, and I don't agree, because you see, and some of you guys, and not everybody on the panel, but some of you guys are just as old as me. Now, remember, some of us here went through.
Well, I don't think none of us as old as you are.
Some of us went through the 60s. Some of us went through the Carter administration, the Reagan administration, 2 Bush administrations. Things just cycle. I hear what you're saying, and I hear people concerns, but to me, it's just a different kind of cycling, because we know this immigration problem has been going on for 150 years.
No, but I think what Lottie's alluded to is overall the politics, the things, how the country's being run. It's become more like a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's become more personal. It's not really for the people. It's never going to be by the people. But everything's now about get as much as you can get while you can get it, because you got to either get it or get got. It's just it's just as simple as that. And the sad thing about it is that if the people don't wake up and take what advantage they can within the first 2 years, they may not be nothing for them.
Well, like I say, I still think, because I'm looking at the 80s when I was in my 20s, it was the Ronald Reagan's trickle down theories. You could have said the same thing about the 80s. There was just a lot of money and wasn't nobody caring. Remember that?
Yeah, but it wasn't as
it wasn't as bad as it is now.
I'm talking about the money, the people's attitude in the government. Yeah, that is a little off kilter. That doesn't have.
Well, like I said before, I think this has proven that the city has money, and every mayor that has been in office has not used that money for what they're supposed to use to help the people that really need help, like the people that's not making a lot of money, the people who do work but maybe end up in the shelter because they can't afford the rent. It doesn't mean they're not working. There's plenty of people in the shelter that works. Yeah. So they should get due diligence because they're paying their taxes and stuff, even though they might be in the shelter. I just feel now, since they've been exposed, this goes to show you that they are not doing anything to help get those people out of those shelters. Forget about the migrant situation. The ones that need help is not getting. You can't even get health care. I know people that don't have health care that's been living here. What? How did someone else come over here and get health care and they can't get health care and they working and paying taxes, but they can't get health care or food stamps or whatever they need, food stamps or whatever?
Because if you're working, they say, oh, well, you can pay for the health care. Health care is very expensive. I mean, there's no way that you can afford to pay for health care.
But to me, it just seems like they don't want to help their own people. This is what it boils down to me. Because they are still building houses. Every time I look around, there's all of these high rises being built all over the place. Now
those are private developers. Those are
but what I'm saying, how did the developer get here? The city had to give them a permission to build here. So now you allowed all of them to come and taking that money and building some houses for people.
Having citizen tax breaks.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some more hot topics.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
Today, before we went to break, I was saying about how I felt about why are we not? You have these developers coming in, even though Vanessa, I know you said they're private, but what I'm saying is the city and them should not be letting all developers come in here that's private, because you had to sell them the land or give them permission to build on the land or whatever. And so you take some of that land and build some buildings, apartment buildings that the people can afford to get in. Because now it showed now that you had money. If you spend $16 million on putting up some tents all over the place, you could have taken that $16 million and helped build some buildings to put apartments and things in.
But Lottie, the land and stuff going to those buildings, there's been long before the migrants came in, right? When you have these communities that are being gentrified, these are the incentives and other people that's at the table. Okay, you got a piece of land, high rise. They are obligated, or what was the commitment is for them to allocate X amount of percentage of apartments out to low income. That was the incentive. But when you have the city renting and selling apartments, city housing, parking lots, city housing, other spaces where they could use for, like you said, to build homes. Why is that not done? This is all that has been done prior to these migrants coming in. This is not a new process; it's an ongoing process.
That's what I just said before. Every mayor gets in, does not do anything, has not done anything to help them people get out of the shelter. Neither one of them have helped people.
It costs money for the shelter, but the crazy thing about it's more money to house a family in a shelter than to put them in an apartment.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the amount of money
but
they pay.
But they're not making the apartments affordable, even if they're allocating it to be affordable apartments. When you look at the listing. And the apartments is like, okay, $3,000 and up. Like, that's not affordable, if you ask me, for the average income.
Well, no, not for the average person. No, I'm saying build some apartment buildings where, you definitely going to have to pay at least $1,500.
I didn't realize.
$1,500, that's realistic. But you're telling $4,000 for an apartment? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
I think that's really for someone who doesn't really have any other supplemental income, like a check, other than there may be people who's like just working, right? So when they have these developers come in, okay, you got a 10-story building, X amount of, I was like, 500 apartment. Okay, you got to allocate a certain amount of percentage to low income, and that's what they do. And a lot of buildings they designate certain apartments. They don't reap the benefit of the amenities, or is only limited to them and not their guests. And some of them have separate interests coming
exactly.
in. Exactly. What's going on?
Exactly. They don't even come out the same door that other people come out.
Exactly.
Well, something happened a couple of weeks ago in the Bronx that it made me show how important it is about the contractors you have. You guys know that NYCHA has given this stuff over to private companies. Mm-hmm. I went by a friend's a project, hadn't seen her in a while since college, and I went by a project. I didn't even recognize them. They did the place so nice, didn't even have the tenants move out, moved back in the same tenants, kept your same rent. So that showed me it has a lot to do who they contracted to. I heard some other horror stories. But this place is beautiful. I was actually shocked. They even changed, the brown facade so it doesn't look like projects anymore.
But you know about that, Rudy? You know the caveat to that? You know the caveat to that? For those individuals for housing who did sell those private projects to private investors, the private investors now was able to make each apartment Section 8, right? To get exactly to get
some of that happened.
To get the updated route, to get the current rent now. So yes, they may be paying the same amount, but that's not what the apartment is worth. And what they're doing also now, they're checking. So now everybody in the apartment has to be now verified. Everybody has to be verified. It's no more than before. Just everybody just coming in, just people name on list. No more. Everybody, they're getting market value for those apartments.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I think we just need to change the way that we are going, because we're not going in the right direction that we're going to, trying to help our people get ahead and to do anything. But let me tell you what happened. What happened to me? You're probably going to look at it and say, I don't know, why are you making such a big issue out of that? It became an issue for me. I was on my way to the doctor's office, right? And so, and I had stopped at Macy's. I'm on my leaving Macy's, going to the doctor's office, right? So I'm passing Bed-Stuy Fish House, right? So I stopped in, bought some food, my little plate of food, desserts, everything, and I had them to wrap it up real tight, put in like 2-3 bags because I'm going to be walking the street, so I want nothing getting into it, right? So I have to pass Starbucks to cross the street over, to my doctor's office, right? So I stopped in Starbucks. So every time I go down to the doctor, I stop in Starbucks because I like their walnut bread. So I went in there to get it, and I sat my bag up on the counter, my food up on the countertop, right? So I paid for my food and everything. And then I had the bag that I was carrying from Macy's. I picked it up, but then I forgot to pick up my bag that had the food in it, right? So I went on, I realized when I got to the doctor's office, I was missing my food. But then I asked the girl, could I run back? But she said I would lose my turn if I went because they will be calling me next. So I said, okay, then I know where I left it at and everything. So I'm not worried about it. I go there. So I was in the doctor's office about an hour and a half, something like that, right? So when I came back, the young man who had waited on me was standing there, and the other young lady was on the other side because she was there also. And so I said, oh, I'm here to pick up my bag. I left my bag over here on the counter. He said, oh, yeah, the Bed-Stuy bag. I said, yeah. So he went back in the bag, right? So he comes back after a minute or two. He was like, oh, they don't have your bag. They said they threw your bag away. I said, no, they did. They threw my bag away because I know you ain't thrown my food away, like that, because you can smell the food because it smells so good and everything, right? And so you go back there and you get my food. And so he goes back there again. He stays a little while longer. So now he comes back with the other girl with him. And so she said, oh, no, we threw that out. I said, no, you did not throw it out. I know you didn't throw that food out. So you needs to go and get my food and come back, right? So she's talking about, oh, no, we don't have. I said, well, get me the manager now, whoever the supervisor is. So now they're staying back there for a while. Nobody comes out right away. I says, I'm waiting to speak to the manager. So she comes out. And then she going to say, oh, well, yeah, they threw it out. It's not back there because, normally if you don't come back within the hour, we throw, your stuff out. I said, that's a lie. Because you're supposed to keep the bag until almost closing to see if the person is going to come right back. So you knew with food and stuff, the person's going to remember their bag, they left it and come back. I said, you need to go and get my food out of the garbage and bring it to me. I don't care if you did throw it in the garbage. You bring it back to me. I said, because you know why you don't want to go get it? Because you ate my food. That's what you did.
This was Starbucks food?
The young girl that was standing beside, she started smiling to herself at the other kid. I said, see, why are them two smiling at each other? Because that's why they smiling, because you ate that food. There is no way you threw that food away. You open up the bag before you even throw it in the garbage if that's what you was going to do. So I know you ate the food. So why don't you stop lying in my face and tell me you ate the food, and it'll just make me feel better because I know you enjoyed the food or whatever. But for you to stand here and lie in my face and tell me you threw all that food away, get out there.
Well, Lottie, please tell me they bought your food and then some, and some desserts on top of that. I want.
No, no, it wasn't. You know what? No, let me tell you. You might think it was a little, but it was the principle.
No, listen. I got a story about this.
I said, because I know they didn't throw that food away. You didn't. First of all, it was wrapped up and tied up real tight. Then I had her to put in like 2-3 bags because I was walking the street, so I don't want them to get in. That's why I know they didn't throw it away. Because when I
Did they bring it from the garbage,
go to the garbage and take it out.
That's what she
did. They bring it from the garbage? Did they bring it from the garbage?
They didn't.
No, because they probably ate it. But I know one thing: I would have turned up Starbucks.
Because I said, go to the garbage and just take it out. Because if you threw it in the garbage, all you got to do is lift the bag out because the food would still be intact. Because she had put it in the aluminum thing, tied it up. Then I had it tied up again, so you couldn't get in there until you was ready to sit down.
Did you get a refund? Did you get a credit?
No, she gonna stand there and tell me, oh, well, we can't do nothing about it because you were going too long. You was going. Nah. I said, excuse me, let's look around the store. There is no sign in this store says that if you leave your package here for more than an hour that you throw it out? Where's the time?
That you forfeited. That is there.
I said, if I left my Macy's bag here instead of the food, you would have thrown my stuff out that was in the Macy's
bag. And what about
bag?
your wallet? Would they have spent your wallet?
I wanted to know too. If you left a bag, clothes, anything, do you throw that in the garbage?
I left my Macy's bag here with my stuff in it, will you have thrown that out if I didn't come back within an hour? So stop lying in my face.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't no ID, and it was just food.
Huh?
There was no ID. There was just food.
Just a
no
bag
ID.
Of food. It was just a bag of food. Just like you order food from the restaurant, and they just put it. They pack it.
I'm sorry. It seemed like you looking at a softer, better time. You leave your food. Yeah, it's gonna get thrown away, and you don't.
No. The caveat is that
it doesn't. No, it
doesn't. They ate the food.
They know they ate the food.
So because
first of all, you wouldn't have thrown it away because you know I would have missed the bag right away and come back to get my bag of food. You would know that.
Exactly.
So that's why I know that. And then first of all, when the two were sniggling at each other, like smiling, and then when I came back, he said to me, "You came back for your Bed-Stuy bag." That's what he said.
So Vanessa already said it. Vanessa already said it. But if you were working there, you would have held the food all day till you got off shift.
Yes, because it was almost
you not supposed to throw away anybody's stuff until almost closing. When you it's almost
closing.
Not just
that. I'm gonna leave food on my register for 6 hours.
Huh?
I don't think I'm gonna leave food on my register. It's not mine.
No, they put it in the side. They put it in the bag.
The food was left on the counter in a bag. It's not in the open.
I understand. I don't know if I'm going to hold food for 6 hours.
It doesn't matter. All you do is put the bag to the side. And then if the person comes back and get it, well and good. Now, by the time it's time for the store to close, nobody showed up. Now you throw it in the garbage.
So if 10 people leave food,
you don't know where I'm going to come back right away.
If 10 people leave food, I'm a lost and found now. I'm going to hold everybody. If 10 people leave food, I'm a lost and found now.
I don't care.
It's not lost and found.
Well, I'm gonna hold people food. They leave their food.
But then if you do something,
I'm just asking. I'm a lost and found.
All right.
I'm gonna hold everybody food.
All right, we're gonna consult Lottie after the show.
I'm gonna hold everybody food today.
Well, it's not the point. The point is it was the principle of the matter. And then I
get that, but like I said, I used to get a better time when there was a time when we would chase you down the street. We'd have been like, miss your food.
I want to thank everybody
there was a time.
And for watching the show. And remember, you can always watch us on Saturdays at 5:30 on Brick and Manhattan Neighborhood at 2:30. And you can also catch us here every Tuesday live. So thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward, as always, to seeing you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Would you like beautiful pictures for your home or your office? Then stop by Faith Art Gallery. They have a large selection of pictures from around the world.
It's Shannon.